Thank you again for joining us on this video series by Discovery Harbour Resources. My name is Mark Fields. I'm the President and CEO of the company. And I would like to begin again by thanking the frontline workers. Many jurisdictions have begun lifting the restrictions that have been put in place during this pandemic. And it looks like we can begin to resume our normal activities sooner rather than later. It will take some time, but we're on the right road to recovery. In this video, I would like to talk about the Truth Machine, which many of you may have heard of. And that is the machine that drills underneath the earth to make the discoveries that we look for in the mineral exploration industry. We use many techniques in the exploration industry for the mineral exploration. These include things such as prospecting, of course, geological mapping, geological sampling, geochemical, geophysical, lab analysis, computer data analysis as well. But ultimately, it's the drill that's required to see what's actually underneath the earth and make those discoveries. As that rock comes out, that's when we see what the truth actually is. In other words, the Truth Machine has done its job. In this video, I will use a PowerPoint again, so I will share my screen so you can do that. And give you the full screen here. And in this video, I will be making forward-looking statements. This is a photograph that includes the drill, the Truth Machine as we call it, this yellow machine right here. And you can see it here that the mast here is at an angle. So the hole will be going down at this orientation into the earth. And that's a very common process to drill at an angle to hit the actual target area at depth that is desired by the geologist. There are two basic types of drilling really for mineral exploration. One is core drilling, the other one is reverse circulation. The photograph on the left here shows drill core from a core machine. You can see these cylinders of rock, intact rock, in the core box here. The one on the right is from the reverse circulation. So these are rock chips that are kept for future reference. In the drill core, over here again, there's typically two diameters that are used. One is NQ, which is about 50 millimeters in diameter, about 3/4 the length of my baby finger. And the other one is HQ, a larger sample is taken using that core. That's 60 millimeters in diameter, about the full length of my baby finger. For the reverse circulation, that's where fluids go down, the rocks are broken up, and a sample is circulated back up to the surface, which is kept. The advantages and disadvantages of the two, the reverse circulation is a cheaper method, so for the same amount of budget, you can get more holes drilled. For the drill core, it's a more expensive one, so you get less drilling done. On the other hand, you get much more geological information from the rock, as you can see here, because it is intact rock. And as well, you have typically more confidence as far as exactly where the drill has gone into the earth, if the target's been properly achieved or otherwise. And when it goes to the lab, you know exactly where that rock is from, the depth it's from, as opposed to here, there's a little bit of uncertainty, though it's got better and better confidence as time has gone on. So those are the two methods, the drill core and the reverse circulation. And I will focus on the drill core because that's what we expect to use at Caldera in our drill program this year. Now, ultimately, to determine the content of the drill core, the samples need to be sent to a lab for analysis. But prior to that occurring, there's a lot of information that's extracted from the core. And what the geologist does, he describes the core or logs the core, you may have heard that expression, to get as much geological information and data out of it before it is sent away to the lab for analysis. Gold is rarely visible when it's logged, when the drill is logged, even with the hand lens, which geologists will use extensively during logging the core. So ultimately, the lab analysis is a very important piece of data because that comes back and tells us how much gold is actually in the core, as well as other elements that they analyze for. I will describe some of the parameters that are used during the drill process, and again, in the context of the Caldera program in particular that we're working on for Discovery Harbour. And this is a photograph of some geologists in a logging facility. You can see the drill core will be here, and the drill boxes here. The ones that we focus on at Caldera, one is a very basic one, the rock types of minerals. For example, at Caldera, we expect to see volcanic tuff because that's the primary rock that's there. There may be some intrusive rocks as well. The minerals we'll be seeing are things such as quartz, feldspar, but the ones we'll focus on in particular will be the sulfide minerals because they are often associated with the gold mineralization in a low sulfidation epithermal gold model. Also, the geologist will log the contacts between different rock types to indicate changes that occur. And then very importantly, the alteration features and minerals that occur, as well as the structures, because the alteration and the structures are two of the key things associated with the gold mineralization. Structures are indicated by the veining, breccia, broken rock, changes in rock type as well. I'm going to go into some detail on each of these features as we go through this video. Initially, as I said, rock types are the first thing that a geologist will typically look at. This is a picture of some volcanic tuffs. And at Caldera, the volcanic tuff is the most prevalent rock type that's there, as it was formed originally by a volcanic environment. Often the original rock type is not very obvious due to alteration. It's often obscured, the minerals are obscured during that logging process. So that needs to be looked at very closely by the geologist during this process. The other thing we'll be seeing sometimes is some intrusive rocks, and you can see here some rock fragments here, and so that will indicate that there's, again, a structure that's occurred. That's a pathway for gold mineralization to be carried. This is a photograph I've used before. It comes from Caldera property, and this shows the contact zone. So again, as I said, the geologists will be looking for contact zones, and this is a very distinct contact right here. You can see the rock fragments here, the broken rock, the breccia. So this would be, again, a structure. There would be a potential conduit for the gold mineralization. And in this particular situation, it's in contact with the volcanic tuff. You can see it on the bottom part of the rock right here. And you can even see some quartz veins here as well. So that's one thing that the geologist will be mapping the contacts as he sees them in the drill core. Alteration, I've mentioned, is very important. And there's a wide variety of alteration types. And I'll just touch on some of the ones that are more important for the Caldera property in the low sulfidation gold model. One is silicification, and that's generally associated with quartz. And here's a photograph on the left from the Adair area in the Caldera property. Another one that we'll be looking for perhaps is the clays, and here again is from the Caldera property. We've analyzed these. These are low temperature clays. So if we see this kind of alteration in the drill logs, we'll know that we're higher than we want to be. The gold mineralization would typically come out lower down, where the temperatures were hotter. That's where the gold will come out at the boiling point. So if we intersect this in the drill core, we know that we want to be deeper down below this someplace. By the way, I did do an earlier video on the low sulfidation epithermal gold model, and I certainly encourage you to look at that for some more details about how we use that model in our exploration program. So it's more photographs of rocks from the Caldera property that show the alteration that we'll be looking for as we drill the holes. And in this particular one here, you can see the chalcedony vein cross-cutting the rock here, this darker colored material here, in a volcanic tuff that's been quite strongly altered. And you can even see vaguely some quartz veins here as well. And this one here on the right, again, some brown colored material that shows some veinlets that are cross-cutting the rock in a very, again, strongly altered rock as well. And this one comes from the Faustus area. Another example here, a very strongly altered rock here, and you can see some vertical fracturing again, indicating a potential structure, as well as the alteration, which often occur together. This particular area actually ran close to 49 grams of gold in the Faustus area. So if you see this kind of rock in the drill core, we'll be looking at it very closely. The drilling that we'll be doing will be going quite a bit deeper than any previous drilling. Previous drilling average vertical depth is only 100 meters, less than 200 meters for the deepest hole. Our targets will be 300 meters to 400 meters deep. So we'll be drilling quite a bit deeper than previous drilling has ever done on the Caldera property. This is a photograph of what we would be looking for to indicate a structure, and some very broken fragmented rock here, what we call a breccia. And you can see a rock hammer for scale here, as well as the individual. And you can see also a very vertical structure here, and very vaguely here, some opaline silica plastered against the rock here. So all these features indicate that a structure has occurred in this particular area. Again, the structures are potential pathways for the gold mineralization to have taken. This, by the way, is Alan Morris, a consulting geologist. We've been fortunate enough to be able to engage. Very well experienced geologist in Nevada in particular, and he's been very important to us as we helped choose the drill targets that we put in for permitting. A very long, detailed process, and Alan Morris was a very important part of that, along with Mark Backness, another consulting geologist that we've been fortunate to bring onto the project. So this is the actual drill core that we, not the actual drill core, but examples of what it would look like when it comes out of the ground. And this is the whole intact drill core on the left-hand side. And then this is the one on the right-hand side that's been actually split. So this will be the one that will be logged initially. The geologist will then pick certain areas that he feels are more prospective for gold mineralization, and the core will be split. And then half of the core will be retained for future reference, and the other half will be sent to the laboratory for analysis. And when it goes to the lab, they'll process it, and at that point, they'll send us back the results. And you can imagine it's a very exciting time for the company, for the shareholders of the company, and of course for the geologists who logged the core in the first place. I've been fortunate to be involved with a number of discoveries during my career. I can certainly tell you that when those first assays come in from the lab, it's a very exciting time to see. In our news releases, as well as previous videos, we've described Discovery Harbour's drilling plans for the Caldera property. And we're looking forward to that opportunity to drill Caldera and use the Truth machine to drill down to 300 meters or more deeper on the property. Previous drilling has intersected gold. It's been sporadic. It has been high grade as well. And we believe that we have a good opportunity to find a deposit at depth on the Caldera property. For that, we need to use the Truth machine, the drill, to drill down to that depth and see what's actually there. We are well into the drill permitting process. It has gone quite well to this point in time, so we're looking forward to getting that drill permit so we can drill later this year, subject to financing. This photograph here shows the drill permits that we have applied for, A through J, so 10 different drill sites are in the process of being permitted for us to drill, as I said, later this year. It's a very exciting time when the drill is turning the property, and then we get to see what Mother Nature has hidden beneath the surface for us to discover. Thank you for listening to this video, and my name again is Mark Fields, and here's my contact information. Also, Rodney Stevens, the Vice President and Director of the company. Please do contact us for further information. And also, if you'd like certain video topics to be covered, please let us know, and we'll certainly endeavor to do that. Thank you for listening to this video, and please stay safe as well.